Starbucks cung cấp các dịch vụ dành cho các nhà bán hàng trên Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USBTO, tường Helium, tường chuyên cao, logistics và warehouse. Xem thêm thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.
In addition to doing weekly optimizations, it's just general good practice to also do longer view optimizations. That could be 30, 60, or 90-day look backs. And we make it really easy in Atomic. If you remember, we can go back up to 2 years to look at data and make any kind of decisions based on those metrics. So let's take a look at analytics now and see what kind of optimizations you should be doing on maybe a monthly basis. So our analytics area is really the best place to do any kind of long-term optimizations, or again, very similar to the optimizations that I mentioned that you could do if you're a brand new user of the tool to get a clear picture of your account data. But one thing that you should also be looking at on a monthly basis that you can do here in analytics is at the product level. This is the area that we have your total sales and tacos metrics included in Atomic. On the dashboard, it was also there, but that's the total sales and the total cost for the account level. Here you can see each product broken up in each line, and then you can actually see the total sales and tacos. So this is an area that you should check if you're running PPC for quite a bit of time to make sure that it is having a good effect on your total sales and your tacos. If you do track this correctly, you should be able to see if your PPC campaigns are indeed helping your organic rank, which they should be. So this is the area that I like to show in order so that you can make sure that you're leveraging PPC the best you can, and that's with a holistic approach. Now back to the search term level, again, this is the area that I said is the best to take a look at. This is the lifeblood of PPC. So again, it still applies here when you're making longer term optimizations. And again, since you can go back up to 2 years, let's just go back to the beginning of this year and take a look at what we get from the search terms. Now, you don't have to go back to the beginning of the year every single month. Maybe you want to do 60 days, 90 days, 120. But again, it's just good practice to take a look at these things because Atomic does have a rolling 90-day window, but it still could have some changes where you might not catch. And if you do miss those, maybe the suggestions, if you don't have anything applied automatically, this is still a good place to go to see if there's any kind of waste. So I could use the filters as I did before in the previous demonstration, but you get the idea. Is this is where you'd want to go to see, do I have anything that's spending without any sales? Do I have anything that's really super high ACoS? In this screen right here, I don't even have to filter anything. I can see that the second keyword, Gothic decor, is high spend since the beginning of the year and has almost a 200% ACoS, which is pretty bad. However, based on this particular search term, this probably is just on because this is really relevant to Bradley's product, which is the coffin shelf. So this could be something he's just keeping on because it does get a lot of impressions. If you did want to make this negative though, again, just with a click of a button, you could go through and click on the tab there or the negative button there, and Atomic is looking for all instances of Gothic decor, all the different campaigns where it is connected to. So you can see that it's already applied as negative across many of these, except for the one that it's not really performing badly in. So in this example, I would likely want to add that as a negative, but I'm not going to do that just at this moment. So the other thing that you'd want to search for here, obviously, is spend with no sales. So let's just do that one really quickly. So let's go ahead and put in a spend of $5, and let's say we want to see 0 sales. So max 0 orders. And that's going to pull up, luckily, just 2 different search terms since the beginning of the year have spent more than $5, some significantly. And again, these are just examples of waste. Now, since this is the beginning of the year, in $90.41, maybe the spend isn't as bad in the past 90 days, and that might be why it's still on. Now, if we want to just see if any of these are actually negative at the moment, you can also just use that button to check, hey, is this one already negative? And it looks like it is in this performance campaign. So again, these are just ways that you'd want to use the tool in order to do longer term views of your account just to make sure everything is really clean. You could also do the same thing in inverse and look for keywords that are performing really well for you and maybe add those to your existing campaigns in addition to the new keywords that Atomic is finding for you. So the other thing that you should do is in the ad manager is check your auto campaigns to see what match types might not be working for you. So this is already sorted by spend. So let's look at the top spend. Let's look at the top spend auto campaign now since the beginning of the year in Bradley's account. So you can see here that of the four, there's actually 4 different ad groups in here. The one that has spent the most is this one at the top. So let's click through here. And effectively what we're looking for, yes, is these target types, which pulls up right away. So you can see that the ones that maybe were not working before have already been paused, and only one is still enabled for this particular account. So what you want to do on, again, a rolling basis, especially if you have your auto campaigns with all targets enabled into one campaign, you just want to check those to see which ones are not working or working. Now, you can take Mina's advice and break the auto campaigns one into each campaign. That will make that part a little bit easier, but if you do happen to have the auto campaigns where it's all included in one, then this is a really quick and easy way to check it. The other thing that you can do in our ad manager is, let's say, for example, you used our max impressions to launch some of your campaigns. So again, we have 3 custom bid algorithms here within Atomic. We have target ACoS, meaning an ACoS goal will dictate the suggestions. Max impressions, meaning high impressions goal will dictate the suggestions regardless of ACoS, or max orders, which means that high sale keywords are going to dictate the suggestions regardless of ACoS. So in the campaign builder section of our tool, all 3 of these algorithms are built into the first page of our campaign builder. So let's say you started out with max impressions because that's our launch basically bid algorithm. This is where you'd want to go to change it. If you're done collecting the data from these particular campaigns, then at that point, let's just scan to see if he has anything that's not under target ACoS. He probably has everything under target ACoS. There's less than 25 campaigns. So everything is kind of set to scale. So the target ACoS here is set to 30, 20, 30. And again, this is where you can go and change these target values one at a time, or you can do it in bulk as I showed you in the previous video. So if he was set to max impressions, this again means that there is no target value. If I actually applied this would be set to 0. But let's say that you're in target ACoS and you've been scaling a campaign for a particular product, but it's just not working. So if you don't know that when you're creating the campaign, then you might know that after running a campaign for quite a bit. And so again, this is where you would go and say, you know what, I'm going to change my algorithm to max orders, which essentially means the liquidate stage. So this just means I'm going to get rid of all of the product as quickly as can by focusing on the keywords that are making sales regardless of ACoS. So if I were to hit apply here, this would change this target value to 0 because again, max orders does not consider ACoS when it's making the optimizations. So those are just a few things that are handy to check when you're using a tool like Atomic on a monthly basis.
Chị đang bán hàng trên Amazon. Skyrock cung cấp các dịch vụ dành cho các nhà bán hàng trên Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi. Như đăng ký brand với USBTO, từ Helium, từ chuyên Scout, Logistics và Warehouse. Xem thêm thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.